Right, shall we start? Yeah, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I've been ready.
You got your tea? You good?
I got my tea, yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outlaw Pigs podcast. We're back after missing a week. Thank you for Full Reptile Radio picking up. Well, we did have a good excuse. I mean, you were on UFC 286.
It's the only way I could afford the ticket price.
Oh, no, they kicked us out straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was a van waiting to take us back over the river.
That's the first time that's ever happened, when they're like, you walk in, there was like, well, there's no green room. We're just going to put you in a bus, and you're going to sit in traffic for an hour on the way back.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all right to sit in traffic when you've won, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it sucks.
Like bruised legs and like adrenaline and all that kind of stuff. That's all fine as long as you win.
Yeah. If you don't, it hurts like 8 times as much.
8 times as much.
You feel like you deserve it as well.
So is this the first time? No, you've done loads of interviews, haven't you? Probably sick of talking about it.
Yeah, I am.
How does the fight feel in retrospect? Oh, we need to do sponsors first. I should do sponsors first.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. First of all, and talking of a 5-mile run, these are a lifesaver or a nut saver, whatever you want to refer to them as. All Citizens, the Elite 2 boxers. These are amazing. They are the best boxers I've ever had. They are, I mean, the fabric is comfortable. They've got the little grip things in the legs so they're not riding up. And this is the best part, of course. The Paradise Pocket, which we've discussed before on the podcast. I am a little bit too British to like really, really fully American sell this, but it's all basically about like keeping your nuts off the inside of your legs. Which
I didn't even know that was like
you didn't
a
even know
thing
that's the
for
thing,
guys. No, I didn't
No.
really even think about it.
You see, well, this is the thing. I've realised now there are probably things that you have to deal with as a woman that I don't even have a comprehension of.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about it. That's like we're not even going there on the podcast.
It's like 2% female. Like, not a lot of people would back me up anyway.
No, we're not getting into that. You've got to get yourself a pair of these. They are affordable, they are comfortable, they are absolute quality. The Paradise Pocket in the front is a nut saver. It is, honestly. I mean, like I just wouldn't run unless there was a pair of those ready to wear. They are fantastic. All the details are below, aren't they, Jamie? You've got it all.
Did they ride up when you ran?
No, they stay absolutely in perfect place. I'll be honest, I prefer the longer ones than the shorter ones for running. Like the shorter ones are comfortable all day, but the longer ones for running, they just kind of hug the thighs a little bit better. You know what I mean? They're just they're great. And then I wear my running tights over the top. I'm good to go. 5 miles. Not bad for an old man. Not bad. They are fantastic. Breathable material, very comfortable, very affordable. Make sure you get yourself a pair. All the details are below. There are 2 different websites. If you're inside the US, it's allcitizens.com. And if you're outside of the US, it's INTL for international.allcitizens. Get yourself a pair. And they've got great shirts. I had a shirt on the other day when we were doing PFL stuff, which was very comfortable.
Yeah, you look good.
Very movable. I was able to shadow box a little bit to burn off some excess energy while I was waiting for the fighters to come out. Yeah, great stuff. All Citizens. Make sure you check them out. And our friends over at Athletic Greens. Well, I mean, you're the Athletic Greens hog, so you're representing Athletic Greens today on the podcast. It is fantastic stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Like, first thing we have in the morning, when we're getting the kettle on, ready to get the coffee going, we get some Athletic Greens. These are the travel packs. You'll get 5 of these free if you go to athleticgreens.com/outlawed. Outlawed. Always sounds weird when I say that on War Room. Don't make any sense.
No. Maybe we can change it to the Hardys podcast.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
Jamie's idea. I didn't.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Right.
I wasn't going to take it from you, man.
We need like a jingle, like a 70s, like you know. Anyway, you've distracted me.
Sorry.
Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/outlawed and get yourself. You'll get 5 free travel packs with your first order. You'll get a year's free supply of vitamin D3 and K2, which is essential. Although we're getting a bit more sunshine now.
Yeah.
A bit more, like 20 minutes a day now. Now the clocks have changed. Great stuff.
It is awesome stuff.
You've been using it for a few months now, right?
And I'm going to take the travel packs in a few days.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Because you're going to Aries.
I am going to Aries.
Paris. Looking forward to that.
Very
You can
much
start your
so.
research once we've done this podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? It always lands where it's like Aries and the Pigs podcast. And we have to record it almost at the same time as I need the research because it's before. So
You're gonna have to have a word with Fernand and be like, look,
look,
we can't be shadowing this UFC schedule because it's throwing out my podcast game. I'm looking forward to that. I will be watching. You'll be cage side with Robin Black, won't you?
Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun. A lot of good fights on the card. Always good fights on Aries. I'll be looking forward to that. So Athletic Greens, make sure you get some, and all citizens, get yourself a pair of these and all the good stuff. Okay, how are you feeling after your fight?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still back into training, lifting, running, ready to go.
Ready to go. It feels a bit surreal that it happened, really.
Does it?
Yeah.
We watched
I
it
feel
back
like
a couple of times, didn't we?
nothing's changed, but things have changed, if that makes sense. Like every day is still every day, except for that one day that happened.
Yeah.
That changed.
That was really surreal.
Yeah. I guess that's the best way to describe it, because now we're like drinking coffee, watching fights, doing training, and it just goes back to like, that's it. But when you're there, it feels like life or death type of, there's so much emotion going into that, and it just, for months, all you do is think about it, and then it's gone. And then you're like, well,
That's it.
I gotta think about something else now.
Yeah. You can't think really about anything else other than your opponent for
No,
weeks and weeks and weeks.
for the entire time. Since you signed the name, that's it. That's everything you do, that's going to be in the back of your head.
Yeah.
You go for a walk, you just like, you should be running because your opponent is probably running, Yeah. So now I don't have that until the next one.
And how did it feel to be in there after 3 years off?
I felt a lot more comfortable than previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I felt a lot more present. Previously, it felt crazy to me. And
well, I mean, you were fighting Avatar before you you left for 3 years. Like she was a different weight class to you.
No, but not just that. Just like every fight has felt like that. And this one, I just felt like I was present and I was aware of what was happening, and it wasn't so much outside everything else. I was a bit more in tune, so the 3 years didn't feel like how you think 3 years out of something that you do regularly feels like. Like it felt that time was, if for some people they fought every month, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was UFC 286, UFC 287.
Here we are.
Here we are now.
We did not miss this podcast.
No, we're going to do this one. We're going to do all the way through, aren't we?
Yeah.
We'll have a little bit of a chat about the fights on the undercard, and I've just refreshed Tapology, and it's in the right order now, I hope.
Yeah, but that sucks because my notes are all in the wrong order, so you're going to have to bear with me.
Mine are just kind of anyhow. I just kind of watched what I was feeling at the time. And I've watched more of some than others because some are more fun to watch than others.
Yeah, I get
that. But there are some good fights on this card. There are some I'm interested to see. Certainly higher up on the card. Okay, before we get into that, let's start right at the very start, shall we?
Yep.
Hang on. Hold it. Where's my UFC stats? Has this been updated? Is this going to be in the wrong order? Of course it is. Okay, so we are starting with Sam Hughes against Jaqueline Amorim.
Yeah.
Amorim?
I guess. You're going to ask the person that pronounces everybody's name wrong and like smashes their names together? I don't know.
Well, what would you smash your name together as?
Just her first name is long enough. Like, what?
We'll call her Jackie, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Jackie's good.
So Sam Hughes against Jaqueline Amorim, 7-5 against 6-0. Now I've watched a couple of Jacqueline's fights, and she's good, isn't she? She's a fast worker. She's strong. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Fights out of ATT. Just looks dominant for strawweight. She looks very, very strong. And Sam Hughes is kind of
sometimes she performs really well, and other times I don't understand.
She gets a bit kind of like loses her way a little bit.
It's not even like a skill thing. It's just sometimes that she sees like fired up to go, and like when she fought, who is this?
I mean, her nickname is Sam Page.
when she fought Elise Reed, that's like she was just aggressive. Yeah, Say Saud yelling at her for the entire time, and she was just like going after it.
Yeah.
But then when she fought like Luana Pinheiro, she wasn't really. She was really hesitant with everything. Not even hesitant, just not actively trying to hurt the opponent, if that made sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's kind of got to start putting a win streak together. Otherwise, I mean, what's she got? She's lost to Loma, lost to Pinheiro, then she won 2, and then she lost to Rodriguez. Mm-hmm. But they're putting her up against an undefeated fighter, and I think they're hoping for big things from Jaqueline. Let me have a quick look at the tail of the tape. Oh, we're going to be missing a few things. I mean, Sam's taller, 2 inches taller. There's no stats for Jaqueline, of course, but I don't know. I kind of feel like this is a welcome to the UFC Jaqueline fight, and Sam might be a little bit overwhelmed. She might get body lock taken down, kind of flattened out. I mean, like Jaqueline's like pressure passing was good. She had like shoulder pressure all the way through as she was feeding her legs through.
Really good knee slide.
Yeah,
like her knee slide is phenomenal.
I can see her finishing quite quickly with a submission, to be honest. So what? She's 6-0. She's got all 6 first round finishes: armbar, knee bar, rear naked choke, arm triangle, armbar. And her armbar was nasty as well. I watched her most recent one against Ashley Nichols on LFA. And that knee bar.
Yeah.
Something about knee bars. Who was it that was caught in one the other day? Mokaev.
That was disgusting.
My goodness.
That was nasty. And he's talking about fighting again. I'm just like, dude,
really?
You need to just take care of your shoulder and your knee and just everything else.
That was bad.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Sam Hughes.
Go on then.
She is working with a jiu-jitsu girl. She's 22 years old. Her name is Carol Campos. She's brown belt, won many, many competitions. So she's been working with her for a while. I don't know if it's a year or something. And then she's been working wrestling defense and offense from 5 months.
Right.
Leading up to the fight. She also switched teams from before. Like when she started the UFC, she was in Washington's, and then she moved to Texas with Fortis MMA. And like just right now seems a bit more focused on studying her opponent. And this is something that I saw in an interview where she was like, I just want to improve my fight IQ. I studied them more before I didn't. And, there's some things that I'm seeing. And before I would just kind of like, if I get taken down, be like, it's kind of like, okay, more accepting of it. And now she's like, I really talk myself down if I do get taken down.
Do you think if she can keep this one standing, she can beat her on the feet? I mean, my first plan, I'll shut up in a second. My first plan would be to get my opponent out the first round. Just make sure that the first round is long, and I disengage as much as I can, make her work for everything, and just kind of keep her on the end of a jab and a teep, and make sure she sees a second round for the first time in her career, just for that little added bit of anxiety. But if she keeps it on the feet, can she beat her? Do you think? She seems a bit too slow for me.
Yeah, but you haven't really seen much of Jaqueline striking though. I know she got that knockout, but it was kind of like one of those 10-second punches where she just threw it and it happened to land. It wasn't something that you're like, oh, this person has really good striking based off the angle changes that they done or the feints and stuff. And when I've seen her in kind of like the striking department, she is a little bit tentative. Like you could tell she's not as comfortable. But then when she's on the ground, because as soon as she gets that double leg, she's not going to let go with their top heavy pressure. And then her legs are going to be sliding in through knees or like pushing away, trying to get to mount, go to these arm bars. I don't know if she's trained in gi or not, but it's a very gi top game. Yeah. It looks to me. Yeah. And it's just about that. I know that Sam maybe was working with jiu-jitsu, but she also said that, it's like it's different when you get punched. And as much as I agree with that, yes, if you're punching from the top.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it's a little bit less. Jiu-jitsu doesn't work if you're the one on the bottom, which is the problems that she's had, which is that she's been taken down and stuff. So it's good that she brought somebody in for wrestling. But I feel like the UFC really want Jaqueline more
Yeah.
to like win.
47% takedown defense for Sam Hughes. Yeah, I'm feeling. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to count Sam out, but I do kind of feel like she's being kind of set up to get another win on Jaqueline's record and introduce her to strawweight. You know, so I'm going to buy into the matchmaking, and I'm going to go with first round submission for Jaqueline.
Yeah, I think I am too.
Yeah,
maybe not like a first round submission, but I don't know, just a win.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like she's not going to be able to stop her taking down more than anything because Jaqueline's going to come in with a lot of confidence, undefeated. UFC debut, she's going to feel like she's going to be able to roll through Sam Hughes.
I feel like it just depends. Is Sam Hughes going to come out fighting like she did Elise Reed, to where I wouldn't say that you're going to get a first round finish?
Yeah.
Or is she going to come out like she fought Pinheiro, where I would say she would get finished in the first round? It's just kind of the thing with her, because I do think she is really good. I just don't think we've seen that level in the fight.
So if she shows up looking really good, she'll lose by decision, and if she shows up not looking very good, she'll get stopped.
No, if she shows up looking really good, she might win a decision.
Okay.
You know, she might like get Jaqueline out of the first round, frustrate her not to be able to take it down, land some shots, move, or get taken down and somehow get back up, you know, like...
And make it a long, scrappy fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how I see her winning. And then Jaqueline, I just see her winning by submission in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be trying to push her to get her out the first round. I think she'd get tired, especially with the excitement of the occasion and everything. But I'm still going with her because I think she's good enough to get it done. Okay, next one up. Have you got Steve Garcia against Shayilan Nuerdanbieke? Yes. So we've got Steve Garcia 13-5 against Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, who is 39-10. And I bet you couldn't find his last fight against Darrick Minner.
I researched into that because I tried.
That was the one.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the James Krause.
But it's still on his record. I wanted to watch it. It must be somewhere online. I did watch it. Oh, you found it, did you? Yeah. I mean, I remember the fight, but like, yeah.
It was weird because like he kicked him to the body, right? And then kicked him and then like kind of like fell back on his knee and then kicked him again. So then in my head, because you see it from the other angle, I'm like, he must have kicked that dude's elbow, and maybe that dude has like horrible bone density type of thing. Yeah, maybe. You know? And then I saw the replay and I'm like, that hit no elbow. So, yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I mean, you'd think if there was, like, they've taken it down on Fight Pass, you kind of think if there was something odd about it, they'd just like kind of no contest it. But anyway, he's coming off 3 wins, and his last one being the most impressive of the 3, being a stoppage in just over a minute. Nuerdanbieke's got a lot of experience. A lot of experience. This will be his 50th pro fight. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's fought at lightweight in China. He's also training with Meerschaert.
Meerschaert?
No. Meerschaert. My hair's hate. God. I hate you. Whatever. The dude that beat Steve Garcia, okay? That's all that matters.
Okay.
His name is not that important. This is why Bahamondes remember the name.
Meerschaert.
He's talking to me. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, okay.
So he's like...
He's been training with him, has he?
Yeah, he's like cousin, brothers type with him, which I saw an interview that, props to All Stars for doing that interview. That was hard. He was hard work to interview. But there was like a translator, and it appeared that it was his cousin, but then he was like, no, it's my bro, but it was from the same tribe. Right. They're not actually related.
Gotcha. Okay. So 39-10 for Nuerdanbieke, 13-5 for Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is listed at 6 foot tall, so he has a considerable height advantage over Nuerdanbieke, who's 5'8", and a 6-inch reach advantage as well, 75-inch reach. Very high striking output for Steve Garcia. 100% takedown defense. What do you reckon?
So,
okay.
Okay, what? Were you going to say
No,
something?
you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me.
Steve Garcia, I was so surprised when I saw his height. For some reason, I saw him fight, and I was like, is this guy a featherweight or something? And he should be a bantamweight. And then I saw that he was 6 foot tall, and I was like, oh, no, maybe not that. It was because he was fighting somebody really tall. I don't remember who it was, but yes, Chase Cooper.
Yes.
Hopper.
Yeah, who just didn't look like he belonged in there, did he?
No.
Bless him. He just looks a little bit. He can't help but look like you probably won't remember Saved by the Bell. Screech. I can't help but see Screech off Saved by the Bell. You know Screeches, don't you, Jamie? Yeah. When he's winning, he looks great, but when he's losing, he looks like Screech. Okay. I'm not really that bothered about this fight. I think it'll be a bit of fun, but I'm not really too I think it'll just be a back and forth get the canvas warmed up, get the officials warmed up, wake the judges up.
I just feel like Steve What do you mean?
I'm not mean. I'm not. I'm just,
I just feel like he
I don't
loves
work for
fighting,
him anymore, so I don't
right?
have to be buzzing about every one of these fights.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but they all work hard to be there.
They all work hard to be there, yeah. And yeah.
All right.
Go on.
He has
I want to get to the
really
interesting
good body jab to left, different directions. He goes like upper or hook. His southpaw is a bit annoying to fight if you're not used to. He's been a bit inconsistent with his weight class of what he's fought. So it's like very,
He is tall for featherweight though, 6 foot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he is. But anyway, and when he fought this guy named Ontiveros. Yes. Like the elbows from the top were really nasty. And he was pinning the arms. And he trains at Jackson Wink. So you saw kind of him be able to, even if he was in danger, get the fight to the ground and incorporate wrestling.
Yeah.
The only issue that I see is sometimes he just comes forward a bit too much and he runs onto shots, which is what happened when he ran onto Meerschaert. That looks like Meerschaert Tate to me.
just call him Misha then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he's been working with Misha, and probably that's something that they've seen because, the times he's been caught has been like that. And with Nuerdanbieke, Nuerdanbieke. Yeah, I should practice before we do the names.
No, I like it. I like the rawness of it. Of you attempting it for the first time out loud. Having heard loads and loads of people say it over and over again.
Okay, you know what? Real quick. This is important. You are in the airplane where there's the elbow fight for dominance of the thing?
Yeah.
That's you for sound. Because I was watching a fight earlier today and you put on the exact same fight, but a little bit later, but louder.
Well, you should keep up there, shouldn't you?
You're commanding the sound.
You should keep up there, shouldn't you?
No, because I was ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, you should have waited for me then. How rude.
No, you were rude. Now I lost track of where I was. Anyway, Nuerdanbieke, good wrestling, right? But he's strong hand, solid.
He's got 19 knockouts on his record out of 39 wins. And he's got a Greco style. So as you were talking about, with Garcia running forward, he might find himself either running onto hands or running into a body lock. This guy's a finisher. 29 finishes, 10 by submission, 19 by knockout. Mm. But he has been knocked out twice and submitted. So he's been the distance 12 times out of 49 fights.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for him.
Nuerdanbieke, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like Steve loves to scrap way too much and runs on to punches. And that's a danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's going to run on something in the second round. I don't like saying that because I feel like if that person listened to it,
I think it's going to be a bloody one, this one. I think it's going to be a mess. I think they're probably both now busted noses. Someone's going to have a like a cut around their eye. I think they're going to be gasping and hands down, and there's going to be grappling exchanges, and Steve's going to be rolling and doing crazy stuff to get out of them and trying to hit elbows, and Nuerdanbieke's going to be hanging onto that body lock and then separating and hitting him with big shots, and they're both exhausted, and then Steve starts working that jab to the body, and Nuerdanbieke's starting to quit, but then he comes bang, 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 body lock, takedown, and Nuerdanbieke wins by split decision.
Yeah, you gotta watch the fight. You can just.
That's it. That's it.
You just tell that to your friends.
You know, if it happens exactly like that, what we need to do is we need to take that little bit of audio and we need to edit highlights of the fight to that. Okay, yeah, right, yeah. We're going Nuerdanbieke. You're going Steve. You going Steve?
No, I'm going.
You're going with Nuerdanbieke.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am excited about this one mainly because I think Ignacio Bahamondes is a lot of fun, and I kind of feel like he's got a good fight in front of him. I mean, he's tall, he's rangy, he's game for a scrap, and Ogden was struggling going backwards. Who was he? Zeluber. No, Zeluber. He was like, he just looked uncomfortable moving back, and I felt like if Zeluber had have been more confident to throw, he would have been able to outpoint him.
Yeah, that was weird because Zeluber had a lot of like hype behind him, and he looked really good, and he had really good striking. I remember watching it, and I'm just like, go. Yeah,
he looked very flat, but I don't expect that with Bahamondes. I think he's going to come and push forward, and I think he's going to be able to put Ogden on the back foot, push him up against the fence, and beat him up with a height and reach advantage. Hang on a minute, where are my stats? Let me get my stats up for this one. So, it's a catch weight. Now, this is a question for you. Trey Ogden, nickname Samurai Ghost.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be Ghost Samurai. Samurai Ghost sounds weird. Like that's like a ghost that's decided to be a samurai, like dressed up as a samurai. Like I'm a samurai ghost. Whereas if you're a ghost samurai, you were a samurai before you were a ghost. Now you're just the ghost of a samurai. Ghost samurai, not samurai ghost. I don't know. It's up for debate. I'll be interested to know what you think in the comments. If we get enough signatures together, I will call Trey Ogden myself and tell him that we've changed his nickname to Ghost Samurai. Sounds better.
Yeah.
Sounds more dramatic.
That would
Samurai
be the most
Ghost
British thing to do to
Samurai
somebody.
Ghost like a shit Halloween costume because you've got a sword and you want to dress up. Oh yeah, I'm a Samurai Ghost. Like because you've got a sheet and a samurai sword, dickhead. Not a ghost samurai. That's terrifying. A ghost. Oh. Imagine coming downstairs late at night, walking to the gym, pitch black, cold. There's a fog in the air, even though there's no reason why there's fog inside, and then out of nowhere, Ghost Samurai.
Yeah, that's my eternal willpower
Ghost
trying
Samurai.
to fight me from getting snacks.
Have you seen Dragon the Bruce Lee story with Jason Scott Lee? You must have seen that, Jamie. Movie guy. Come on. Dragon the Bruce Lee story. The movie.
Oh, I have
right?
seen that where he's like fighting his nightmares and stuff. Yeah,
that fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's a ghost samurai. It's not a samurai ghost.
Okay.
We've kind of veered off topic a little bit,
Well,
but I feel
have.
strongly about this.
Okay, yeah.
It took me a couple hours to kind of
right,
get my
I'm
head
glad.
around it earlier today. So 6'3" compared to 5'11" for Trey Ogden. 3-inch reach advantage as well for Bahamondes. 8.33 strikes landed per minute. It's ridiculous. That's a very, very high work rate. 95% takedown defense. Get off. Leave me alone. Let's stand and trade. This is going to be a banger, but I feel like Bahamondes is going to kind of push Trey Ogden around. I feel like his height and reach is going to be too much for Ogden. He's going to get beaten up.
Ogden just gets put like prospects that they want to build up. You know, like
this
UFC, like
that is a conversation for this whole card.
name. Yeah.
This whole card. That is the conversation about this whole card. Honestly, there are so many of those fights now on these UFC cards. It's like...
Because he got Jordan Levitt, who they want to build up because he's a monkey king and he dances. And then, what?
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with
Dude
you.
has like a split.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
He does.
And he's probably wearing some of those, so his package day.
Look at that. Look at that. Get yourself... Jordan Levitt, we'll sort you a pair of these out, my friend. You'll need this Paradise Pocket to keep your boys in the bag when you're doing your octagon splits. She honestly loves her own jokes more than anybody else's.
Well, who else is going to like
And while
them?
he's doing the splits, these little grips on the...
Not going to ride
They're not
up.
going to ride up. There you go. I'm telling you.
Game
Revolutionary.
changer. Yeah.
Okay.
So he got
Approved by the Monkey
Zellhuberg.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Mexican. I should be able to pronounce his name. So he got him, and then he was a massive underdog for the fight, and he was just like, yeah, what's up? I felt like I was striking him. Everybody thought I was going to wrestle, but I've held my own, so I just kept going.
Yeah.
And he also co-owns a gym with James Krause, which is like... And...
Who Trey does?
Yeah.
Does he really? Are you sure?
Am I on the right one?
Marathon MMA.
Yeah, that one.
It is in Kansas City, Missouri.
So he's had James
that might
Krause.
Be a secret. That might be a secret.
I know.
I feel like
because he's had in his corner all the fights, and then that happened, and then I'm gonna say his wife had a baby, but still he had a
So if James Krause dressed up like a ghost samurai,
oh my goodness,
he might be able to sneak in and corner him.
Was that your
that's
plan?
Weird because Nuerdanbieke's on the card as well. It's all confusing. Why is it a catchweight fight at 160?
Because Trey was scheduled to fight last week against Manuel Torres,
right?
But Torres had medical issues, and then Ignacio's opponent, Nikita Moto or something like that, he withdrew.
Yeah, Moto.
Nicholas Moto.
Nicholas Moto. Yeah.
Yeah. This is it. I actually know him. That's the worst part.
That is pretty bad.
That is pretty bad. That's how bad I am with names. But yeah. So he withdrew, and then they matched them up together.
Right.
So that's how it happened.
Right, like a blind date. Like, you lost your date, you lost your date. And you could just gain 5 pounds out of depression.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Just sit and eat ice cream for a week, and then come back next week and we'll get you a new date.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
It's my kind of setup. I think Bahamondes is going to bully him, beat him up from a distance. Long arms. Whap,
yeah.
whap. And that spinning kick against Roosevelt Roberts
that
was amazing. Like, that 10-second clapper was like, go, bang. Loved it.
That was sick. And he's young. He's always at the gym. He coaches kids and stuff. And he's gathering information so quickly.
Yep.
And just adding to his game at a really fast rate. So...
And we know from his last fight, he's smart enough to look for subs if they're there as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Bahamondes. Okay. Who are you picking?
Yeah, same.
You just copying me now. I'm going to let you pick
next.
that
means my picture bad.
Oh. It's you shit talking in the comments. I knew it. That's what you're doing all the time. Shopping for purple hoodies and Moldavite and shit talking me on YouTube. Okay, next up. Yeah.
It's a pretty good hobby.
Next up, Cynthia Calvillo against... Oh, I've lost it. Lupita Godinez. So, 9-5-1 for Cynthia Calvillo, 8-3 for Lupi Godinez, 2 inches height advantage for Calvillo and a 3-inch reach advantage. Higher striking output for Calvillo, better striking defense for Calvillo, 75% takedown defense, not too bad. Gonna probably need it in this one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what was weird is that when I saw Lupita, when she fought
Carnelosi.
Yes, Carnelosi. Yes. She was doing a whole bunch of wrestling, just drowning her, mat returns, all of that. And then when she fought Angela Hill, you didn't really see a lot of takedowns. She got outstruck.
Do you think there was a reason for that?
Yes, because I did research. I listened to all these people's interviews. You get a lot of not all of them, but you get a lot of information from these little interviews.
Spending hundreds of dollars a week on OnlyFans, it's ridiculous. Stalking these fighters for their for their information.
I'm not mystery.
I think you just signed up for stuff in his name at this point.
Anyway, listen.
Anyway, I'm listening.
She had a hip injury in the first round versus Carnelosi. So then she couldn't train and she was just out, for a little bit. And then as soon as she got cleared and she was okay, then it was a short notice fight against Angela Hill. So she didn't really get a lot of good training. But
did she take Angela Hill lightly?
Yeah, probably.
It was a catchweight.
Yeah. So, no, but when she was talking about it, she was like, yeah, but it's, it's like Angela Hill, she's really good and she does that. So she kind of took it as a learning experience. She's been training with Sarah Kaufman and has a new boxing coach. And obviously her sisters are world-class wrestlers that are massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they are big.
Is
so
this
she's
a rough
been
fight
training
for Calvillo then, do you think?
I think it is, unless Calvillo pulls some jiu-jitsu wizardry. And she hasn't been doing it. Like in the start of the UFC, she like took the fights down, got a submission, and she was looking, like she was really hyped up and she was doing great. And then she just kind of...
She had three rear naked chokes in her first few fights. Amanda Cooper, Pearl Gonzalez, and then Poliana Botelho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was live for the Poliana Botelho one. Yeah.
And then she's kind of struggled.
Yeah, well, she struggled with weight as well. Like, she couldn't really make straw weight, and she missed weight. And then she went up to flyweight. But when she went up to flyweight, I don't know if she wasn't incorporating the grappling as much because of the size difference. Because she is really small. Like, compared to me, she's really small. And I'm small in every weight class. And so I don't know if she was struggling with the thought of going for takedowns with somebody that was bigger. You know how you can sometimes get like a little bit deer in headlights to not go. But yeah, like the struggles have been against just girls that have out-strength her.
But Godinez is probably a better wrestler, but she's not bigger.
She's pretty
she's going to be strong, isn't she? Yeah. The thing that she seemed to struggle with against Angela. No, it wasn't against Angela, was it? It was against Carolina. They were like almost too aggressive for her. It didn't like give her time to think. She had the same problem with Angela Hill as well. She was just a little bit like just give me a moment. Do you know what I mean? She kind of seemed a bit flustered. That's the only thing I kind of thought to myself was consistent about when she loses. But I don't know whether Calvillo's like, if she's like, let's go out with a bang, let's have a scrap. She could put enough pressure on Godinez to kind of back her up. She's coming off a loss. She might have put in a lot of pressure on herself to get back on the winning track, especially because she felt like she should have beaten Angela Hill, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's different coming off one loss where you're just like, because like I said, how she was talking about a loss to Angela Hill, it wasn't like a loss that discouraged her in any sort of way. It was just like, well, that was like a lesson in my overall goal to... Yeah,
for sure. But that's always going to be the perspective after the fight. If you'd have asked her a few days before the fight what she thought of Angela Hill, she'd have been like, yeah, I'm going to roll through her. She's not good enough.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
So like her perspective changed because she lost. But the reason why she lost, I feel like, was because she was put under pressure. And like, if it's just, because Calvillo will scrap, and she is a bit chaotic, and she does have back taking and scrambles. Like, if she can just kind of put it on her, just take some risks. I mean, she's most likely going to get released if she loses this one anyway. That'd be 5 in a row. So she might she's either going to come in cautious, in which case Godinez is going to push her around and take her down, beat her up, or she's going to be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What I don't even understand is, like, I feel like Poliana is bigger than all those girls. Like,
yeah, but it's confidence.
I know she fought
well, isn't it?
straw weight, but Poliana's big.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are far more dependent on where they're at psychologically than anything else.
Yeah, and where is she going to be psychologically after?
That's what I'm saying. Is like, she's either going to be like, oh no, if I lose this one, I'm going to get released, or she's like, fuck it, let's go out with a bang, and she just gets in her face. She might learn something from the Angela Hill fight.
Yeah,
push her around a little bit, be aggressive, maybe even level change yourself, force Godinez to defend. I don't think she's going to do it. I think Godinez will beat her by decision, but I think Calvillo will make it difficult for her. I think it's going to be a decision, but I think Godinez will win it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gerald Meerschaert against Joe Pyfer, and goes back to the same thing we were talking about. This is like Meerschaert is. I was thinking today about who do I put in this category. They're like, I mean, is the term gatekeeper the right one? Because like Meerschaert, you don't never see Meerschaert fight Sam Alvey. You know what I mean? Because they both do the same job. Mm-hmm. They're like filters in the division. It's like, yeah, they're kind of like filter the division. Like Meerschaert's record 35-15 compared to Joe Pyfer, who's 10-2. Like Meerschaert's a problem for anybody who is not ready to be in the top 15.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'd like to see Meerschaert fight Derek Brunson. I think that would be a mess from the start. But like,
I think he retired.
Who did, Brunson?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, is it? I would like to see him come back for one more fight against Meerschaert because it'd be a mess. But the thing is with Meerschaert, he gets beaten up, pushed around, and like he latches onto submissions that he's not going to get, and he tries for takedowns that he's not going to get. That have got like he's just kind of sloppy. But because he's kind of like got this like lumbering style, which is messy, he drains people. Mm-hmm. Like he makes people work so hard. He'll like catch on their head and like be like fighting a drunk guy in a small space. You know what I mean? Just kind of like, just get off. And they're like, you know what I mean? And but he's like, but at the same time, he can do that for 12 minutes and then take you back and choke you out.
Yeah. And
that's where he's the filter. Like if you're not good enough to hang with him for 10 minutes and then, stop him in the third, or just do what Chimaev did and do him with the first punch. Like, that's kind of what they're hoping from Pyfer, I think.
Yeah. So, do you know about the story of Pyfer and Dana White and all that?
No.
Is that his name losing his...
What?
Oh, no, I said it right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pyfer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him losing his shit after because he dislocated his elbow, didn't he, against Stolzfus?
Oh, that was disgusting.
And it was like...
Yes, I have notes on what happened there.
Oh, hang on. The medical diagnosis.
No, it's just in the wrong order because of this thing changed.
Well, you
just
should be
right
organised,
before.
shouldn't you? You should have contacted Topology and told him to update sooner.
Yeah, so his right arm dislocated and snapped backwards. Needed 2 surgeries. He doesn't have full mobility back, and it will forever affect his career. It's in his right hand, and oh my goodness, the scar is like that big.
Yeah. It's like when you've got all the surface meat off a piece of chicken and you just pull it apart that one last time just to get to those little like tendony stringy bits in between. Like that.
What's wrong with you?
Kind of like Jamal's arm shoulder.
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah. Disgusting. So that happened, and then he worked his way all the way back to the Dana White Contender Series, and then he won, and he was like, oh, Dana White, like...
We had one fight. I mean, he had to go through the surgeries and stuff, but he only got one fight in between. He was almost straight back to Contender Series.
Yeah.
Like he got... So he was out in August of 2020. Mm-hmm. He had a return fight in December of 2021, stopped the guy in the second round with a right hook. And then June of 2022, he was back on a Contender Series against Ozzy Diaz.
Yes.
Which was a wicked performance.
And he was, what was it, like 2 days from being evicted from the place? Because, I think it was like a roommate tried to like commit suicide or something, like crazy. It's just a crazy story. And then like Dana White after like gave him a wad of cash just from his pocket. He just got like cash out of his pocket and gave it to him. And
why would you not? If you had Dana White money, you just want to have cash. I've got way too much for one person to ever need.
Yeah.
Have some cash. Yeah. He was losing his shit when he lost on the Contender Series. He ran straight over to the cage and was yelling at Dana. He was like wiping the spit off his forehead. And he was going, thank you for the opportunity. like too much adrenaline.
Yeah.
And you can see how much it meant to him. It was good to see. And it was a beautiful left hook, just step back. Which was kind of funny because his corner team from the end of the first round, they were going, you got to throw combinations. You've got to throw combinations. Throw more than one punch at a time. And it was a bang, one punch. Beautiful. Yeah. And then Amadovsky, I kind of feel like if you look at what he did to Amadovsky and you look at what Chimaev did to Meerschaert,
Yeah.
You kind of smush them together. That's kind of like how the UFC matchmakers have gone, well, that happened to him and he can do that. So, you know.
Yeah, no, I see that because that's what I thought when I saw the...
And if he can't, then Meerschaert will strangle him and then we'll know he's not good enough yet.
Yeah.
Right.
But he does have quite a bit of, like, backing behind him.
Does he? Yeah.
Because Dana White after was like, be Joe Pyfer and whatever. And then he got, you know, invited to a UFC and then he was sat next to Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Right.
So all of that kind of.
So Dana White making his dreams come true.
Yes. Because they said he saved one of the Dana White contenders cards. He's like, you saved the show.
Saved it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Meerschaert, 35-15, Joe Pyfer, 10-2. 1 inch height advantage for Pyfer, a 2 inch reach advantage for Meerschaert. 50% takedown defense for Pyfer, although he has not had many UFC fights. 100% takedown accuracy. He is supposed to be a very good wrestler. Yeah, I did see a couple of nice takedowns, but does he really want to be taking Meerschaert down? You kind of think he's going to just stalk him up against the fence, check hook if he walks forward, right hand if he stays against the fence. I think Joe Pyfer is going to catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what it's set up to happen.
Of course, he's got that Dana White privilege. It's I have spoken. Yes, I think Pyfer's gonna. I mean, you know, the thing is with Meerschaert is it's kind of unfair to call him a journeyman, but he's like it's almost like a different class of journeyman. Like for me, journeymen are like I remember my friend turning pro as a boxer, and in his first 4 fights, he fought the same guy twice, and his record was like 48 and 84. Like that's a journeyman, someone that's got like 100 fights.
Yeah, that
is just like there on the lower scene, just to kind of give people a run out sometimes, and we don't really have it in MMA.
No,
but like Meerschaert is like the top, like the cream of the crop journeyman.
Yeah, no, it makes sense what you're saying. It makes sense what you're saying.
Like, but it almost sounds like it's an insult to call someone a journeyman, but it's like what? Like,
well, not everybody's gonna win the belt. You have to realize only one person in the whole division owns the belt, and they fight every 6 months.
Yeah.
And if you take into people's lifetime, you lose a fight, you already lose like 2 years of your life trying to get to that shot again.
But it's just
hard.
Yeah, for sure. But like he seems accepting of the fact that this is just what I do.
Yeah,
I just show up like
by
3
fighting,
times a year and fight someone that the UFC thinks is good.
You don't feel like, or I don't feel like he has, I'm going to be the world champion type of attitude.
No.
But I don't feel like I've seen enough of Joe Pyfer, if that makes sense.
Well, no, I mean,
this fight
fights.
is important because it'll tell me kind of where he's at.
Yeah,
is what I feel about this fight.
So you're not making the pick then? I'm kind of talking myself into Meerschaert now, to be honest. Like Pyfer's got a guillotine loss on his record, and he's like a bit
third
eager.
Round rear naked choke or something.
Yeah, like a DAS or a guillotine or that thing you got Fabinski with was nice, wasn't it? Power like a I've talked myself out of it. I'm gonna go with the Meerschaert 3rd round submission. Go with the underdog. He's got to be the underdog, hasn't he? Dana White's put $10 million.
No, they're on Tapology. It's 53-47. So 78% of people think he's going to win by knockout.
Yeah, but according to verdicts, the person to ask is Ben Askren.
Yeah,
his prediction rate is ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't know how he does it. It's very impressive. It's very impressive.
Don't say that, because then people are going to go watch him.
Well,
he's not entertaining.
I was considering replacing myself on the podcast with him, actually. Askren. Oh, no, that doesn't sound good, does it? That sounds painful. That sounds like something I need lubricant for.
Listen, who are you choosing? Did you already choose?
You, baby, not Ben Askren.
Oh, my God.
I'm choosing Meerschaert. I've talked myself out of it. I'm choosing.
I talked you into it.
Okay, all right, you can say that. Meerschaert. I'm taking Meerschaert by 3rd round submission.
It's that or 1st round knockout for Pyfer. Let's roll the dice.
I haven't got one for you. I haven't even got a coin you can flip. You're going to have to make a decision. Which one's going to get your AG stamp of approval? My Paradise Pocket has already landed. Come on.
I would say Pyfer then.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Pyfer, yeah? You sure?
Okay, it was a really 50-50 fight. Okay, I take my picks seriously because then I get upset if they lose. Unless I like them as a person, then I can be like, okay.
You like picking against them, so then it's a win-win for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good thinking.
All right.
Okay. Michelle Waterson against Luana Pinheiro. What do you reckon? Like, I kind of feel like they're trying to get a good win on Pinheiro's record so they can start moving it towards the belt.
I feel
18
like
and 10 for Michelle Waterson, 10 and 1 for Pinheiro. Pinheiro? I can never say her name.
Pinheiro.
1 inch height advantage for Waterson. The reach is the same. Yeah.
She is not 5'2". I have trained with her. She is taller than me.
Is she? Yeah.
And I'm 5'3.75".
Oh, wow.
I'm basically 5'4".
Basically. You're basically 5'9".
It makes a difference when you're this short, you know? Like, you gotta round up on the inches. Yeah.
What do you think to this one? I kind of feel like this one's kind of being teed up for Pinheiro to win.
Yeah. Since, because like I trained with her at the Damien Maya, and I remember her showing up to practice, and then all of a sudden I saw her just take it really serious. Not that she wasn't before, but it didn't really seem like I'm gonna go for the title or I'm gonna go for the UFC. Like, she wasn't in the UFC yet, and then I saw that she went back to Rio and she was training a bit more in Novo Union and started to compete in wrestling and really working on her judo skills, her jiu-jitsu. I even saw her at the ADCC qualifiers in Sao Paulo. So like, she was really, and she lost to a girl that, and it was close. I think it went by like decision or something. And it was like one of the top jiu-jitsu practitioners at the time. So it was, really great fight. So yeah, just how much more serious she's taken it. You can see even her Instagram, it's very like, I am UFC Barbie, and that is like my brand. Right. And it's like, and it's fashion.
Probably making her a lot of money.
Yeah, no, but great, because she's like well aware and consistent with it.
What's weird is she looks like Felice Herrig in her Tapology picture.
Yeah, she does.
Right?
I think it's the eyebrows.
Yeah, maybe. Like, she is good. I mean, she's talented. She's patient. She's well measured. The only thing I don't like is that Nuerdanbieke finish, the illegal up kick, because it was such a bad performance. You know what I mean? When she was carried out by. Was it Andre Pederneiras?
Yeah, I feel like you're never just going to be able to live that down.
Once I've seen that in a fighter, I'm like,
But like, I've seen that a bit in training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just clear that she didn't want to continue. And I mean, she's got loads of first round finishes, but they were all, well, most of them. There's one inside the time that she was fighting against Nuerdanbieke. But Randa's tough. Like, she's not going away, and there was that kind of feeling in the first round, and then Sam Hughes as well. She went the distance with her. I don't know. I feel like if Michelle Waterson can use her long range kicks, keep hitting her in the midsection,
those
keep moving
oblique
away.
Kicks to the knee would be brutal, especially because of how Luana stands.
I'd like Michelle Waterson to do it. I just kind of feel like Pinheiro's going to win a decision here. She's just going to kind of like get inside her range, keep stepping around her back, and do you know what I mean? Every time she throws that side kick.
Yeah.
Like, Waterson's got quite a clear game. When she stands, when she stands southpaw, she's lead leg side kick. When she stands orthodox, she's lead leg high kick. Yeah.
And you can tell that they're trying to give, like, they gave Luana Pinheiro Jessica Penne before. So they're trying to give her somebody who's like been in the sport for a while, like a veteran.
A name that people recognize.
Yeah, and a name that people, so they can like shoot her up, because she'll be extremely marketable. She's like what Michelle Waterson was before in marketability.
Yeah.
That sounds like mean to say, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which way you going?
I think I'm going to go with Luana. Just like take down a bit of control. I think Michelle Waterson will be a hard test for her because like those oblique kicks, and she's going to move in and out. It's not going to be like Sam Hughes, where that was even a hard striking match for her, and I feel like Michelle is above.
Yeah, she's
in the striking department.
She's a good technical striker.
So that's the part where I feel might be a bit dangerous. And she was really well against Amanda Lemos, like with the takedown. She got her down and she was like controlling her. And then in the second round, it was really good by Lemos. She like defended it and just jumped on the guillotine in that position where you're kind of like reaching to reestablish something. And she jumped on that guillotine, and that was just like, she didn't see it coming. It was a bit like bad luck as well.
Yeah.
Beautifully set up by Amanda Lemos. But yeah, I think maybe that's why they might have put her with Luana.
Because she thinks she's going to catch a neck on her. You think Waterson might be under pressure striking, then go for a takedown, and then Pinheiro's attacking her neck? Yeah,
well, Pinheiro, like, she seems to have a lot of power, and she has like some knockouts because she knows that as soon as the distance closes, it doesn't matter. She's going to have a hold of you and you're going to go to the ground. She's been doing judo since she was like a year old.
Yeah.
And that no matter how much you trained with whoever you brought in for your 3 months, it's not the same. No. Calm down. So I think she just punches and he crashes into range to where she can just get a headlock and then get the fight to the ground, which gives her confidence in her striking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pinheiro by decision.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on. Kelvin Gastelum against Chris Curtis. This should be a banger. This should be a good one to... currently it's on the last fight of the prelims, which I hope it stays there because it'll be a good one to finish the prelims on.
Sorry, my order was all out of whack. I had to find.
So 17-8 with 1 no contest for Kelvin Gastelum, 30-9 for Chris Curtis, 5'9" against 5'10". Chris Curtis with the 1-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. High striking output for Chris Curtis, 100% takedown defense. Of course, Kelvin Gastelum's record and experience, even though he's got less fights, is a far more elite level. But I like Chris Curtis. I like how he just kind of hangs back and waits. He just like lets you kind of work, and he just reads and watches until the point where his corner team are like,
yeah, that's what happened with like Buckley though.
Yeah,
he was a bit like walking him down, shoulder rolling, just because he just has a good striking defense, and he knows you're just going to continue to outwork yourself, and he's going to pressure until he kind of gets a read on your on like the space and where to find his targets. But what interests me is if he uses a lot of body shots like he did against Allen.
Yep.
That was like a hook to the body, then to the head, especially because Gastelum, well, he's not the most physical middleweight.
No.
Strength-wise. Like compared to Buckley.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think Chris can really wear him down with those body shots. And I just kind of feel like, I mean, Gastelum, he's a little bit, I don't know whether his game's still evolving. You know what I mean? I feel like there might be an advantage here for Chris Curtis being relatively new to the UFC, and the fact that Kelvin Gastelum has been here for a while, and we kind of know what he does.
Yeah,
like we know what he's good at. Like his knockout of Bisping was lovely. The way that he touched him and moved out and then came back in. Like he's got those good boxing skills, and we know he's got good takedown defense. We know. I mean, of course, he got subbed by was it Hermanson? Caught him in a heel hook, ankle lock.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But then he's kind of fallen into that same position as Meerschaert almost. Like he's not good enough for those guys at the top. He can give him a test if he gets the opportunity.
I feel like he's one
above Meerschaert.
Yeah,
he's like the upper filter.
Yeah.
Right. Because, his win over Heinisch is the kind of fight that he's going to have against Chris Curtis, but I feel like Curtis has got way more stopping power.
Yeah, Curtis is really good.
Yeah.
He just, he looked a bit weird versus Hermanson, and...
Hermanson's weird,
yeah,
though.
not
you know
weird,
I mean?
But just
Hermanson,
didn't really know what to do against the fact that Hermanson was so weird.
He's just the way he moves. He's like...
It was really awkward the way he did, but he did that on purpose in order to like win the fight.
He kind of shrugs his shoulders sometimes as he's moving, so you're not sure like how much he's coming in.
Yeah,
like, it must be exhausting. Like the thing is, like I mean, you look at the Buckley fight though; it was like just after the halfway point of the second round, and he was doing very little in that fight. You know, but you could tell he was kind of watching, and like there's a benefit in having nearly 40 fights. This will be his 40th fight. The benefit is that you get used to that pocket where most people feel uncomfortable. If you've had 10, 12 fights, you might not be as comfortable in that pocket as he is after fighting.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing is as well, like you go down his record. I've not had a deep look at Chris Curtis's record. I'll have a little look now. I know he's fought on other good organizations, but then he's fought a lot of guys who, you know, like 0-3, 7-11, you know, 6-11, like probably 4 or 5 stars on Uber, but not necessarily the best MMA fighters. But it gives him that confidence to be in the pocket with him and just kind of work through his game and understand it
absolutely.
in a way that he fought someone called Portland Pringle III. I'm just going to let that marinate for a minute. Portland Pringle the third.
The third.
I'm sorry if anybody knows this fighter, and I'm sure he's a lovely individual. But that is a really unusual name.
Yeah, it is.
He's 11 and 12 now.
This was something that I thought was
his nickname is the Prince. Portland the Prince Pringle the third. That's
you think
gold.
that's a real name?
Yeah. There's a photograph of him.
Yeah, but you can have a stage name.
He fights out of Four Seasons martial arts. If that's a hotel gym, that's going to be a Four Seasons.
That's not his real name.
That's
not his real name.
It is.
There's no way.
His last fight was Daquan Townsend, who fought in the UFC.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that's his real name. He could be using like, you know, an incognito name.
You don't think his name's Portland Pringle?
No.
I think it is.
Fighting out of Four Seasons?
I think he
That's
is.
a prank.
4 Seasons. Not Four Seasonings.
No, like the hotel.
Yeah, I know. Portland the Prince Pringles the third.
No, that's a stage name.
He should get his opportunity on Contenders, I think. Okay.
Okay, real quick. I'm just going to ask you a question.
Go on then.
So when he was fighting Buckley,
Yep.
before the knockout, he threw this like head kick, right? And then Buckley was like, nah, I'm the kicker, dude. And then he threw a head kick, going kind of backwards, and got caught and knocked out. So do you think...
Did he trigger him?
Yes. Do you think that was a trigger?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he talked about, you know, was it... Oh no, was it Kevin Holland was talking about? No, I can't remember who it was. I'm sure it was Chris Curtis. He was talking about Buckley and he was like, yeah, you know, everyone remembers him as the kick guy, but he's only done that one time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's like he might have kind of found a way inside his head a little bit. Because
that sometimes happens, like, especially with like kicks. Like you kick somebody in the leg and they always like just kick you back in the leg.
Yeah.
They kind of play tag. So I feel like maybe he might have did that to get Buckley to throw while not being in like, I want to throw because I see it there, but just out of like, ugh.
For sure.
And he caught him going backwards, like shoulder swipe, defended and caught him. So
yeah, it was cool. Slick. Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna catch Gastelum.
Yeah,
I think
me
he's
too.
gonna put him away.
Yeah.
I can see him kind of similar to Buckley, just like feeling him out in the first round, letting Gastelum work a bit. I think Gastelum's probably going to try and wrestle. We're going to see Curtis like defending takedowns in the first round, and that first round probably go to Gastelum based on work. But then Curtis is going to come out in the second round, and I could see it being like a uppercut. You know what I mean? Like catching center line as Gastelum's leaning in.
Yeah, he does really lean in a lot.
And then if he's trying to wrestle as well, I think Curtis is going to catch him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Curtis.
So I'm looking forward to that fight. That's one of the ones on the card that stands out to me as being a really exciting one. Now, talking about someone that quite easily can be triggered, Christian Rodriguez is the next fight against Raul Rosas Jr. That was the first thing I noticed about Christian Rodriguez. If you hit him, he tries to counter you straight away. It's like, it's you know what I mean? like against a smart striker, it's too easy to trigger somebody to make them do what you want them to do. And you know, he might not be if you know, this time around, because obviously he's had a fight in the UFC now, and what is he, 1-1? Jonathan Pierce lost, and then the Anaconda win against Weems. But I feel like he's been brought in to give Rosas a good performance.
Absolutely, because Rosas there. He's the youngest kid to sign with the UFC. He looked phenomenal in his last fight. The way he was adjusting the back while using the cage to get a better grip, I was just like, that's it. That's all you need to see to know someone's real good at what they do. When they're, just the whole awareness of the space around you and using that to your benefit when you're already long. And the kid's, you know, like big Robbie Lawler fan. Like, did you see him as a kid? Well, more of a kid.
Yeah, right. He is a kid.
Yeah, he's still a kid. But like kind of doing the same walkout and stuff. His grappling is insane. And I feel like I talked a little bit about his grappling on the last time we did a podcast on him, because I have done research for him before.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, good movement on his feet, as well. He utilizes feints, slip back, right hook. Looks just like leagues ahead when it comes to grappling. And Christian Rodriguez, when he fought at 145 versus Jonathan Pierce, he was out grappled, with the transitions, and he just seems to have a lot of reactive grappling.
Yeah.
He has a really good guillotine, which is how he got that anaconda. It was an arm-in guillotine butterfly sweep to an anaconda. So that's always like his go-to. He's on the ground, you got to watch out for a guillotine with him.
But he chased it a bit too much against Jonathan Pierce.
Yes, yeah. And that's something that I wrote too. Is like when he gets an opportunity, he looks for the finish and just throws out the window, establishing any sort of position. And it's just not worked in his favor a few times. Maybe not in getting losses, but in just that moment in the fight hasn't worked in his favor.
So 7-0 for Raul Rosas Jr., 8-1 for Christian Rodriguez. 2-inch height advantage for Rosas, but a 4-inch reach advantage for Rodriguez. High striking output compared for Rodriguez, but that'll be the Jonathan Pierce fight, won't it? 56% takedown offense, but then he might get substandard in this one. Yeah, I kind of feel like Rosas is going to catch him, rear naked choke. I feel like the positions that Rodriguez struggled in against Pierce, he'll get subbed in against Rosas, because he's going to attack relentlessly. He's going to feel like he's going to be able to get this finish here.
He's like one of those 16-year-old blue belts in Brazil that you look at, you're like, no.
Yeah, nightmares.
Like beat up all the black belts, and then they just take you to be like, oh, you got beat up by a blue belt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Rosas.
Yeah,
you?
me too.
Okay. This should be a really fun one. And I watched the Wonder Boy fight a couple of times.
Did you watch it? Right,
yeah,
it was
amazing.
good.
It was amazing.
I loved it.
Really fun. So Kevin Holland against Santiago Ponzinibbio. So 23-9 for Kevin Holland with 1 no contest. 30 wins and 6 losses for Santiago Ponzinibbio. 3-inch height advantage and a 8-inch reach advantage for Kevin Holland. I don't think Ponzinibbio is 6 foot, do you?
No, he's not 6 foot.
That's very generous. I think he's going to look a lot smaller than Kevin Holland. Decent striking output for both of these guys. I kind of feel like Ponzinibbio's at a stage where Kevin Holland's going to fluster him and frustrate him and make him swing and miss. He just, I don't know, like he just lost so much momentum when he was ill for that period of time.
He did. He really did. He was on like the trajectory of getting like knockout. I remember it because he fought, I don't remember who it was.
Magny.
Yes, Magny.
His fight against Magny was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like he had good wins. I mean, you know, the Gunnar Nelson one was a little bit fingers in the pants and, you know, whatever. People aren't happy with that, but it's a good win on his record. You know, Mike Perry by decision, then Neil Magny. He was kind of on his way up the rankings, and then that was 2018, and he didn't come back until 2021 against the Leech, where he got knocked out in the first round. And I remember the excitement that he had to be there.
Yeah.
It just worked against him, I think. And then from that point, he's had like the Bieza fight was you know, like they've not been easy fights. You know what I mean? None of his fights recently have been easy. He's not blasting his way through anybody, and I don't know as he's going to do it in this one either. I feel like Kevin Holland, like he beats himself because he makes weird decisions and he gets tired.
Yeah, he's just a bit like, he'd be so frustrating to coach.
Yeah. Like his fight against Wonderboy was a lot of fun, but the reason why I couldn't vote it as fight of the year was because he got tired.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Bit clocked out.
Like you'd never see Rory McDonald or Robbie Lawler being like, yeah, no, I'm just bored of standing up against the fence getting punched now. And Wonderboy was, you know, he was really beaten up, but he wasn't quitting, and that's what made Wonderboy so special in a lot of his fights. But Kevin Holland doesn't have that. He does check out, and I don't know whether Ponzinibbio can push him to that point in 15 minutes. I feel like Holland might be just kind of flowing and stinging and hitting him, and Ponzinibbio is a bit too traditional and long stance, vulnerable to kicks, quite stationary, getting caught with spinning elbows and stuff. And
Kevin Holland has a great clinch elbow to the side of the head, like he did versus Thompson, or the right hand tempo shot that he landed. But I also like that he changes his tempo while striking.
Yeah.
And his striking looks so relaxed that it looks a little bit like the chain with the ball at the end. That's the way the strikes are landing. It's almost like he's using a different weapon to get to his opponent. And that mixed with the tempo changes, he's just hard to deal with because he's unpredictable. And he'll be like talking to you and doing some stuff, but he's pretty honest when he's talking to you. Like he was to his corner telling him, "Oh, Kevin Holland is so Stephen Thompson's so fast," and then he was just like telling him, like, "Slow down."
But it's just, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I think he can be chaotic enough to beat Ponzinibbio. I think Kevin Holland does win this one. But I feel like Ponzinibbio, if he comes in on his game and he stays disciplined with his footwork, I feel like he could beat Kevin Holland. Like, he has got a very fast 1-2 straight down the pipe. He's quite low, and he punches up into his opponent, and Kevin Holland stands tall up against the fence.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he could catch him with that shot over and over again, but he's got to get around the spinning elbows and the weird level changes and the, all the stuff that he's going to be targeting. Ponzinibbio's lead leg is going to be under attack by Kevin Holland pretty quickly. But then, if Ponzinibbio can hang in there and tough it out, as we know he can from his last few fights.
Yeah, because with Alex Morzo, what's his name? Morono, yeah. He was not winning that fight.
No.
And then he just caught him.
Yeah, Morono's a very, very tough individual. Real, intelligent. If you listen to him talk, he's going 100 miles an hour, and he's like, so I thought this, and I want to do this. And yeah. He was on form that night against Ponzinibbio. Like, everything he's won recently, he's had to work hard for.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Holland's going to be too big for him, too awkward.
And just for Holland, when he fought Khamzat, I know that he got taken down and that whole thing and got submitted. But Khamzat did go for a takedown when Kevin Holland was clearly putting his hand up for a glove touch. And he stands really tall when he does it. And
whose fault's that?
He just went like that. And yeah, but if you say you're going to glove touch, it's...
Yeah, but, it's, the thing is, you can't be angry about it because he's not doing anything against the rules. Like, it's annoying, but it's happened to me before and it was my fault. You're like, yeah, that's a dick move, but it's...
Dude, I get throwing an elbow to put that person's eyeball all the way back to the other side. Do that 100%. If you do that, props to you. I will enjoy watching you fight even more. But that, I just...
Yeah, no.
It's not the same, if that makes sense.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying, you can't, if you go to touch gloves with someone and they kick you in the head, you shouldn't have been touching gloves with them. Like, the moment where you're supposed to touch gloves is right before the fight starts.
Yeah, but unless you're main event, they don't put you together to touch gloves.
It doesn't matter. I'm just reality of the situation.
No,
morally, touch gloves. Yeah.
Not if you don't. Okay, if you guys are I don't want to touch gloves, cool. But if you agree to touch gloves and you go like you're going to touch gloves and you do that to a level change, that's a...
a dick move. But the referee's not going to stand you up and go, oh, that was kind of not cool. A point deduction for you being not cool.
All right, I get what you mean, but still.
Like I understand, cool. But like unsportsmanlike conduct, unfortunately, doesn't cover the pretending to touch gloves.
Yeah, he still did really well to defend it for just being on. That's like when you're in practice and you're like, okay, double leg defense with the person just wrapped around your, in a double leg, and you have to defend that. That's like defending, like when somebody has the back and the rear naked choke Ogden. A little bit. And he still did pretty good at defending it. So, yeah.
So what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Kevin Holland.
Yeah. Ponzinibbio got hurt a couple of times as well against Moreno, didn't he?
He got hurt bad. Like
I can see him getting dropped and choked out. I can see Kevin Holland hurting him first and then subbing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Holland?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got quite similar picks this time around, haven't we? Is that because you realise I'm on the money? Don't pull faces. Okay.
I'm out of practice for picks, guys. Sorry.
The co-main event, Mini Masvidal.
Yeah.
Rob Font against Adrian Yanez. Like this is another kind of passing of the torch. It feels like Rob Font 19-6, Adrian Yanez 16-3. Like this 6 fights difference. If Yanez wins his next 6 fights, he'll be a world champion. If he wins 1 and loses 5, he'll be Rob Font. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that's kind of how it feels. It's like, well, you had your chance, Rob. You've been here for a while, dude. 1987. It's kind of like
Kevin Gastelum.
Yeah, Kelvin. Yeah, exactly. Like another kind of changing of the guard. Meerschaert against Pyfer.
Yeah, but that's like lower down in that guard thing.
That's like that, isn't it? And this is like that.
Yeah.
So 19-6 for Font. 16-3 for Yanez. 1 inch height advantage for Font. 1 inch reach advantage for Font. Yanez is a lot of fun to watch. It is weird how much he looks like Masvidal. Even like the way he stands, kind of a bit heavy on his lead leg and tucks his chin.
And when he drops you kind of goes.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I really enjoy watching him. But the thing is, he's not had it all his way, has he? I mean, Randy Costa gave him problems in the first round.
Yeah, just with the jab, man.
Like and Rob Font has got a good jab.
Yeah.
Like if he can be patient and if he can hang back and he can kind of use that additional experience that he's got to, use his reaction time to see him coming in. Like Rob Font sparring with Calvin Cater and stuff. He's dealing with guys that have got good movement and good hands. I definitely think this is a fight that Rob Font could win, but I expect Yanez to lose the first round and then probably win in the second or third. I just feel like he's got scary power in his hands for this weight class.
Yeah, what I found, because I saw one of the interviews with Yanez, and he was talking about how Rob Font was obviously coming off that loss against Marlon Vera, where he just his face looked really bad. Yeah, like scary bad.
That's the other thing. He's taken a lot. Of
punishment. He's taking a lot of damage. His last 3 fights were 5-round main events, and he missed weight in the last one. And I just feel like that was just a lot on him. But he's been in the UFC for a while. Yeah. And kind of like only got the opportunity recently, and it was like all at once.
He's kind of been in the background for a little while.
Yeah, in the background of the UFC. He just like manipulates distance well to set up like the next punch or strike. And he dips to get a reaction, like he dips to see what you do and then follows off. So you can see that he's really targeting what you're doing. But what Yanez said is because he took so much damage, he's expecting him to try and like wrestle a bit more and not risk it. Not because he's coming off 2-fight losing streak. He knows that Yanez is the up and comer prospect that they're trying to build up and use Rob.
Yanez never been stopped either.
No, he hasn't.
So 4 submissions on Rob Font's record. Let me see when the last one was. Guillotine choke over Douglas Silva de Andrade at UFC 213. That was the last one. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to try and wrestle a little bit, but I also think that Yanez is most likely going to. He's going to probably get hit quite a bit by Rob Font in the first sort of couple of minutes before he starts to find his range, and then Rob Font will start to grapple when he feels like he's losing that. But, I mean, Yanez has got 100% takedown defense so far. I don't know how many takedowns he's defended, but Like Rob Font's takedown accuracy is not wonderful, 37%. I kind of feel like Yanez is a bit too much for him. Just a little bit quick, a little bit younger, a bit fresher, a bit sharper. Rob Font's a bit too flat-footed, taking a lot of damage in his last few fights.
I just feel like it's more the damage. I feel like striking-wise, if it was Rob Font while he was coming up, I feel like he'd still beat Adrian in that department.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing Costa tag him so much with that jab.
You know, something that was quite consistent about Rob Font is he tends to start out all right, but then almost lose the fight right at the end of the round.
Yeah, like
there's
with
a few
Marlon
moments.
Vera.
Yeah, there's a few moments where the referee's like, "Oh, you got to defend yourself." Oh, end of the round, and then he gets up and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine." You know what I mean? I feel like Yanez. I could even see that happening. I could see Rob Font winning the most of the first round, Yanez hurting him at the end of the first round, but making it into the second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, have a little resurgence and then Yanez beats him towards the end of the round. Almost like he steals the first 2 rounds in the last minute or so. I'm excited for this one as well.
Yeah, it was cool watching Adrian talk about it because he was like, I was a big fan of Rob Font. Unlike the last fight, which, you know, it's hard to be a fan of that guy. It's just, he said like he had to rewatch it. It was cool because it was somebody that he had already watched, and that he knew about and he knew his style, but he had to rewatch it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
And he watches a lot of his own fights and he gets made fun of for, but he watches it to see where he can fix the mistakes and improve and what his opponents are seeing. So he was really smart
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of,
like a young Masvidal, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
honestly.
It's weird. Like, Masvidal was like that when he was younger as well, you know what I mean? You, like, switched on, like, understanding how to read people.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Yanez.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm excited for it, though. I think that's going to be I think that one or the Gastelum fight could steal it. The only reason I might lean towards this one is because Curtis tends to have quite a low work rate until he gets the job done.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like this one's back and forth.
Plus, at that weight class, they're always going to be going.
For sure. Okay, co-main event?
Co-main.
Right. Gilbert Burns against Jorge Masvidal, welterweight. So this is 3 rounds, which I think is significant because it gives Masvidal less opportunities to land strikes, because once Gilbert Burns gets a takedown, I don't know if Masvidal's going to be able to get back up. 21 wins and 5 losses for Gilbert Burns, 35 wins and 16 losses for Masvidal. 1-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage for Masvidal. Again, I don't really think that's going to matter. 74% takedown defense. The one thing that you have to say about Masvidal is he is very, very good at hanging in there. And I kind of feel like it's almost got to be his game plan for this fight. I'm going to do a war room on this, so I'll be a bit more specific in that. But like, there's going to be moments in the fight where Masvidal can do something that'll be effective, and they're going to be small moments, and he's going to have to make the most of them when they come, because they're going to be few and far between. Because I expect Gilbert Burns to close him down quickly, to try and take him down, and to be on him until he gets the takedown. And then it'll be top position with Masvidal looking up at the referee, looking up at the clock, being frustrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like him versus Maya or versus Colby.
Exactly. He's a survivor in those bad positions. Doesn't mean he can win those rounds, but it means he can survive for well enough to watch him kind of like drain the scorecards away from him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But there are little moments where he could be very effective, and he's got really good close range elbows. And if I'm Masvidal, that's what I'm doing. Like, he cut Colby Covington with them, Nate Diaz, hang on a minute, I'm going to check his name, Cesar Ferreira up against the fence, really, really short elbow.
He throws him with like some bad intentions.
I love it. But the thing is, if he's going to beat Gilbert Burns, it's going to be striking at that range. Yeah. And what always confused me about Masvidal when he's up against a good grappler, someone that wants to grapple, he throws loads of kicks. Like when he's fighting someone that's not really going to be able to take him down, he doesn't tend to throw kicks a lot. But when he's fighting against Usman, he threw like 6 kicks in like 10 seconds against him before he got his ankle caught and taken down. It's almost like he's tempting him to take him down. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's just because he's so confident in his defense, or like he feels like he can catch them that way.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's fishing for it.
Like, he's got good feints. He's got, like, the thing that held Colby off at times and Usman off was his like hard feints that he does. Like when he did that little switch step against Darren Till to catch him. Like those kind of feints, they scare the hell out of people that have not got the understanding of striking that Masvidal's got. Like Colby doesn't, Usman doesn't, Burns doesn't.
Yeah.
Two good wrestlers and a really good jiu-jitsu player. They don't have the same kind of understanding of range play that Masvidal has. Doesn't mean they can't be as effective, because as we saw with Kamaru, you know, of course you can be very effective, but Masvidal's understanding of striking, I wouldn't go to Usman. I always use this as an example. I wouldn't go to Usman to learn striking, even though he knocked out Masvidal.
Yeah.
I would go to Masvidal because he has a better understanding of striking generally, how to lay traps and those kind of things. And I feel like that fear's always there when he's in there, because people know that. Like they sense that. They're like, you know what I mean? Like he makes them anxious, but he's got to use that against Burns. Otherwise, he's just going to be Damian Maier for the whole time against someone that's potentially going to beat him in that position.
Yeah.
You know, like what Gilbert Burns did to Neil Magny.
He just RDA'd him.
Yeah. Which was weird to watch RDA do it.
Yeah.
Must be a weird kind of strength that these Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champions have got. Like RDA manhandled Neil Magny.
Almost identically. RDA did that leg kick, that really low calf kick into that position.
Yeah.
But it was almost like they knew that they was going to grab him. And Neil Magny has good grappling. Like it's not like he's bad at grappling. He's really good.
That's why it surprised me. But then you look at Gilbert Burns, and he did the same thing to Woodley. Like Woodley's a good wrestler. He's a good athlete. He's a strong dude. Took him down. You know.
Yeah.
Had him mounted at one point. I just think his grappling's at such a level that he's been able to dominate people in the gym, and he's got that real world grappling strength that you don't get from lifting weights and stuff. You know what I mean?
No,
It's just
I
like
see what you mean.
Compressive body lock, squeeze, like pressure.
Well, those videos where Usman and him used to train, they were like so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just because you could tell they were both really strong in those positions. And you know, it's weird that they've both fought a former teammate / friend. Like Masvidal fought Colby, and Burns fought Usman.
Yeah.
That was like in the same sort of situation. Except, Burns liked Usman even after.
They should just put them all in the cage together. Let's just have a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, right.
Eight-man welterweight tournament. We'll do a warm-up we'll have Meerschaert, Derek Brunson, Sam Alvey. Who else we put in there?
But I don't know if Masvidal, he'll be a lot more motivated after Leon winning, obviously, because that gives him a shot to like the belt right after, just based on storyline, which the UFC love, hence the main event of this card.
Yeah, but then they've given Leon Covington next, haven't they?
No, that says rumored. It says, because I saw Masvidal comment on one of it.
He was there weighing in London. They've already made their decision. He brings in a demographic that I don't think any other fighters hit, unfortunately, and I just think they're like, well, this demographic's got a lot of money, you know.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
There's a lot of white people with a lot of green money, and they love Colby Covington. You know what I mean? It's just like, I just kind of feel like that's like money talks, and I feel like he's got that toxic appeal.
Yeah, but Masvidal has a giant following as well.
Yeah.
So he would sell that fight just as much. They just have like Colby for if Masvidal doesn't win.
Hey, look, if Bisping got Dan Henderson in his first title defense, then Leon can settle his beef with Masvidal for sure. Especially because it was like that. Like there's like a legitimate fist fight.
Didn't it happen in London as well?
Yeah, at the O2 Arena backstage. Like Leon got cut from it. He had to get his cut either glued or stitched. Like that's legitimate. Like get that fight going.
Yeah.
Right. Like give
sure.
Colby Covington Bilal Muhammad or Chimaev or something. Right.
Yeah. Well, Gilbert Burns has been looking at Masvidal's like tape and studying how he's been taken down, and he says that it has to be different the way he does it. And I just feel like those, like more towards body locks and just jiu-jitsu type of control.
The thing, Burns is sticky though. As soon as he gets his hands on you, like I watched his fight against Wonderboy again, and he's just like, as soon as he's got contact with him, he's just able to like drag him in. He's like an octopus, you know what I mean? Just wraps around him and just, and you know,
it's a bit like Damian Maia, but without Damian Maia having the body that Gilbert Burns has. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
Damian Maia doesn't move as athletically as Gilbert Burns, and I also think he's like Gilbert Burns' wrestling is probably overall better than Damian Maia's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just like his ability to, like his takedown against Wonderboy was single leg off the fence, and it was a nice little sequence that he used. Straight into shoulder pressure, always consistent.
Who are you picking?
I kind of feel like Burns is going to do it. I think he's going to win a decision. I think he's going to do what he did to Neil Magny, but I feel like Masvidal's going to be able to survive.
Yeah.
And the moments it's going to be like trash talking at the end of a round. Masvidal might be able to scramble back up to his feet. He might be able to land an elbow. There'll be a bit of trash talking, and I think it's going to be kind of a bit of a frustrating fight where not a great deal happens aside from Masvidal trying to defend takedowns and not give his back.
Yeah. I just feel like at this point, Masvidal is not... He's just... like not with the mind into the title as much, if that makes sense. Like he already has a lot of fame. He has his own organization. He's just playing the game right now cashing in.
Yeah.
And Gilbert Burns is still, like grinding up to get to the position that he wishes he would, like Masvidal's in. Because that's where everybody wants to get to. Apart from the belt, what you really want is that type of financial security and like brand recognition.
But this is Masvidal's like 42nd fight.
Yeah.
He's at that stage of his career where he is, he needs to cash in. And he's got the BMF belt, like he could fight out his UFC contract and make a lot of money elsewhere. Like he could box Jake Paul, he could box Nate Diaz. There's money for him elsewhere. Even if he wants to fight somewhere else, he could make better money than he is doing right now.
Yeah.
And he could go out on a string of losses against guys that have just, wrestled him, which is what I think is going to happen here. And I don't think he's going to be that bothered.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I think Burns by decision, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, main event. Alex Pereira against Israel Adesanya. Pereira defending his belt for the first time against Israel Adesanya.
Is this dude even going to make weight?
Pereira?
Yeah, he missed the cutoff. Well, not missed. He almost missed it by 5 minutes on the last fight.
Yeah, but he's champ now.
Yeah, it's not like your body fat goes, yeah, but you the champ, so I'm going to shed an extra 5 pounds off.
Yeah, but it means that they want him defending his belt.
Oh, okay. Like quick slip. So what you're saying is we're not going to have a digital scale in this UFC Miami?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. It's Miami, isn't it? Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know. They might use digital scales.
Yeah, my sister was like, so can you be on the card so I can watch you? I was like, no, bro.
Go on, fly out there now. Fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. And, of course, it's championship weight, so he needs to be on the money.
Yeah, well,
I just feel like he's destined to, he's destined to move up to light heavyweight, surely.
He's destined to be heavyweight.
Yeah.
Not like heavyweight.
Yeah.
He is a big dude. They said he started weight cutting from 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks before the fight. Yeah. Which is the point where I'm just like, you almost got knocked out in the first round. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget Israel. Mm-hmm. Like, you got saved by the bell in that first round. Plus your weight cutting from 2 weeks before, which we see what happens. Like Charles Oliveira was taking shots great before, and then the tiniest one he just had to sit down. That's massive weight cuts. There's no two ways about it. It's that, absolutely. And yeah.
Do you think Adesanya can not get knocked out in the space of 25 minutes by Pereira?
Well, he wasn't knocked out cold in the last fight.
No, but that's only because Mark stopped it like 2 punches before he was completely unconscious.
For sure.
Like it was coming. And the thing is as well, right? So I think he won the first fight when they kickboxed.
Me too.
I've watched it so many times. It's like I just feel like he outpointed him. He landed cleaner shots. He took less shots. It's just the few that Pereira landed, and because he was moving forward a lot of the time, they were just scored higher. And you know, the second fight, he was winning the first round comfortably. He got a standing 8 count the second, and then he just got caught clean in the third round and knocked out cold. But then Pereira coming into MMA, like there must have been questions around him of going, okay, well, you know, this is a cage and not a ring. It's a different kind of space. There's more space. I can't trap him in the corner quite as easily. Smaller gloves, not as easy to hit him. He's got good head movement. You know what I mean? Like there could have been doubts in Pereira's mind going into that fight that now are not there because he knocked him out. You know?
Yeah.
And you know what fighters' logic's like. Pereira would be like, oh yeah, no, he hit me behind the ear, and then the second shot was after the bell. You know, it was illegal, and he'll kind of rationalize it in his own head, and then focus on the fact that he stopped him in the fifth.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Pereira's going to come in and try and get him out of there in 2 rounds this time around. So he just don't have to see Adesanya again, and I think then he'll move up a weight class and he'll fight light heavyweight against Jamal Hill.
Yeah, because he was in the corner of Anderson Silva when Anderson fought Israel.
Teixeira. No, Anderson Silva.
With Teixeira as well, but...
He was in Anderson Silva's
Yeah,
corner.
because Anderson Silva brought him over to fight Israel Adesanya. And like as a training, because he was the only guy that beat Israel. And then there was a whole beef during that week because it was like, oh, Anderson Silva brought in this guy. So, yeah. And then he was in the corner of Jamal Hill... with Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. So that's like already sold his storyline. Like already to defend this and just go up and fight Jamal Hill. Primed
and ready.
Yeah. What I would like to see from Israel is obviously, I don't know, he fights incredible. He can do whatever he wants. But the takedowns that he can get by body locks, it's way different than when you're going for like regular wrestling, and the body lock takedowns were really easy against Alex Pereira because he still hasn't have that kind of core adjustment to where you're used to body locks to an immediate overhook to then try to get an underhook. You know, he's kind of like not used to that. So he gets off balance a lot easier when it goes to body locks. It's less effort, and the takedowns that Izzy got was like that.
But then I kind of feel like Pereira's size balanced out the fact that like it was like Adesanya's wrestling wasn't great, and Pereira's takedown defense wasn't as good as Adesanya's wrestling, but the fact that he was bigger and stronger made up for it.
Yeah,
so it was
but
like
not when
a
it
guy
came
that's
to
not
body
got great
locks.
wrestling against a guy that's not got good takedown defense. That's just too big to take down.
I understand
what you said. Yeah,
but body locks is like different because if you don't understand the mechanics of it, dude, I've gotten taken down so many times because I didn't understand it. So
yeah, but like even in the first round though, when Adesanya had him in a body lock and he picked him up to try and take him down, and Pereira just landed back on the floor and he just looked heavy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like pick him up. I'd say like grab him and intertwine your foot in it a little bit, and the person's gonna fall. I feel like Adesanya needs to have worked on that since the last time though. But he
wasn't that good at it last time.
It. But if you look back, you can clearly see that the body locks were where the wrestling should be focused on.
Yeah, no doubt.
And not like
absolutely.
the chain Khabib stuff. He doesn't need to do that. He just...
No, for sure. He needs to be on a body lock and wrestle him to tire him out. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I don't think Adesanya's technique is good enough to negate the fact that Pereira is bigger and stronger. Like Adesanya would need to add 30 or 40% to his clinch wrestling game in order to balance out the fact that Pereira is bigger and stronger, so Adesanya doesn't get tired in the process.
Yes, but I don't feel like Adesanya needs to add that much percentage in skill-wise in that position. Just set patterns that he can do from that position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but
right, he doesn't need to be like an overall better judoka or something. He just needs to have like these 3 takedowns that he's drilled 800 times
for sure
for this fight.
And what most likely would have been the smart thing to do would be to like bring in Dan Kelly, who's got Australian Olympian judo, and work with him, and have the same thing. But if he hasn't done that, then he isn't going to have as much success. He's not going to have much success with it.
Yeah,
like Pereira is going to be the one that's going to be like, right, I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira comes out and takes Adesanya down and beats him up on the floor. Like, he's got Glover Teixeira in his corner.
Yeah, he went for that leg and then the knee tap and that double leg.
Exactly. Yeah. That takedown that he got, although DC was laughing at it, like it was a clean takedown. Like, there were some things that he did wrong with it, but because he's big and strong and he did it with intention, he was able to score it.
Yeah.
But like you take the techniques that Israel Adesanya used, like you see that takedown that he used where he tried to pull him off the fence, and you do that against someone that's got good jiu-jitsu, and that knee bar's, you know what I mean? He did get his brown belt after the fight. Did you see that? Like, imagine if he comes in now and he wins like flying triangle or something.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody thought was suspicious.
Yeah.
I wish like Israel, because he was kind of had him against the fence and he was like punching him and doing a really good job at wrist control, but his punches didn't really seem to be too effective. Not effective, but like you could tell he was smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can tell,
if Pereira was doing them, they would have hurt him.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I've said that with like loads and loads of the punches that Adesanya's landed. Like, if he had the Pereira power, like that step through jab cross he landed, jab cross, that was like
left
full
it and
power.
Framed it there.
Like,
it was cool.
If you're not knocking somebody out cold with that punch, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't much he did wrong technically with that. You know, I can pull apart most things. There wasn't many things he did wrong technically with that. I wouldn't have changed much about it. The fact that that Pereira was able to take it and just continue going.
Yeah.
Like, and you know full well that if you switched that equation and Pereira landed that jab cross, Adesanya would have been out.
Yeah.
It's just a difference. He's just a different size athlete. Like, I think again, same thing with Masvidal.
He's not a middleweight though. That's the only, because he cuts crazy amounts of weight, but he's not a middleweight. Like, you put him in a DEXA scan, and they'll say you're gonna kill this guy if he makes middleweight.
Yeah, but he only needs to make it one more time.
Yeah, exactly.
And he probably will, right?
He really
he'll
does.
Sweat out. Yeah. He'll sweat out. He'll make the weight. He'll beat Adesanya a fourth time. Imagine that.
I think Adesanya's gonna do it.
You think he's gonna do it?
Yeah,
I'm leaning towards Pereira. I would like to see Adesanya do it. I like to see people overcome their demons, and I do agree.
Yeah, like, what a horrible book,
right?
Man, because I remember, like, while in Sao Paulo, that Alex Pereira was like, it was something like his Instagram, like, well, he either put he was running some sort of Brazilian, barbecue, or Israel, I'm your daddy. It was like the three things on his Instagram. And just to go from that to fight and win the belt, I can't believe I witnessed that story, you know?
7-1 is his MMA record. And you know what's interesting as well, if you compare their kickboxing and their MMA records, that like Adesanya's done double the work. He's got double the experience kickboxing. Pereira's had 40 fights. Adesanya's had 80. Pereira's 33-7. Adesanya's 75-5. So Adesanya's success rate in kickboxing is nearly 94%, and Pereira's 82.5%. So he's had double the fights with a higher success rate of winning. But then when it comes to knockouts, Adesanya's got 29 out of 75, but Pereira's got 22 out of 33. 66% knockout ratio, 85% knockout ratio in MMA compared to Adesanya's 65%.
I think Adesanya can overcome his demons.
You reckon, yeah?
Or the giant demon he has in front of him.
The Ghost Samurai.
Yeah, the
That'd be a
Ghost
good
Samurai.
nickname for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards
I just
Pereira.
wish he'd like did same with the striking. Just do a little bit of body locks, and then when you're in these transitional positions and you're punching, it's like just threaten the neck a little bit. Just threaten it. Just don't focus so much on the hand, and just like threaten the neck, and then punch him, threaten him, and then you get the. Yeah, but like Alex is really cool. Like if I would ever see him, you know.
I like him with his Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell. That was
suits him.
Yeah,
he's a scary dude. I would like to see Adesanya do it, but I kind of feel like
I just love Adesanya's like skills in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Pereira's going to get some pills and learn how to breakdance after this fight. got you beat everywhere. Right.
What a nightmare of a person
know,
to
right?
have. Oh my goodness. I just can't imagine somebody just like, leave me alone, dude.
Yeah. In a parallel universe somewhere, Israel Adesanya is waking up from a bad dream going, he didn't exist. Oh my goodness, thanks for that. Yeah. Okay, before we leave it there, thank you to our sponsors.
Oh, like and subscribe. I forgot. I was supposed to say on the start. I see why you forget.
All the way to the end, right? Oh, now you see. Now I don't get the blame. So our two sponsors, All Citizens, make sure you check them out. The link for everything is below. There are two different websites, Inside America and Outside America, talking about inside and outside. You want to get yourself a pair of these so you can put your boys inside your paradise pocket. Keeps them off your thighs. Very comfortable for when you're running. They've got the little grips on the ends of the legs as well. I am a big fan of these.
Or if you want to do a split in the cage.
Or if you want a Jordan Levitt, Monkey King, approved by the Monkey King. He doesn't know it yet, but when he gets his balls in the paradise pocket, he'll know. And Athletic Greens. Great stuff. Make sure you get some Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/outlawed. You will get 5 free travel packs. You will get the D3K2 years supply, and you'll get the goodness that you're looking for in your life. The probiotics, the vitamins, minerals. It's great stuff. You'll sleep better. You'll think better. You'll eat better throughout the day because you're like, well, I've had my Athletic Greens. I can't have Easter eggs for breakfast now. That sounds good, though. Eggs, right? Eggs.
Yeah.
I have my Athletic Greens. Easter eggs. Easter eggs on toast. Over easy.
That sounds pretty good.
Right. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.